Welcome back to Software Inc., everybody. I hope you're having a good one because I am excited to be back. Now, I want to get something out of the way immediately. This episode is being pre-recorded. The episode before this, right now, for me, hasn't even gone out yet. So, I still need your feedback on that episode. I need your help to design a research building. So, if you haven't yet left a suggestion on that episode, you can do it on this one if you want to. You can do it on that one if you want to. I don't really mind, but I've got some ideas. I've been thinking of building a research building that looks a little something like something out of Surviving Mars. But that's just me. I want your feedback as well. Anyway, let's get into today's episode because we got some work to do. It is January 2017. And what's weird about saying that is that once upon a time, I probably did say it is January 2017 in a Software Inc. video, and it probably was January 2017 at one point when I said that in a Software Inc. video. It's still so strange to me that we've been playing this game actually really regularly on the channel for years. This is probably the most consistent game that has ever been on the channel because there's usually a series of it every single year, and I love that it's kind of become a tradition and that we're really getting into this one and having a lot of fun with it. Now, it is January 2017 in-game, and this year we are looking to release Captain Murderstab, I want to say 5. I'm pretty sure it's Captain Murderstab 5. I really should stay on top of this stuff, and it absolutely is. Captain Murderstab 5 goes out this year, and that's great. Hopefully it's going to be outstanding, because Vector Studio 2 was only great. It is making money. It absolutely is making money, but we as a company are not making as much money as we want to be making. We did 6 million last month, 12 million the month before. If we went and had a look at some of the previous months before that, we were seeing so much income. But across the board, our income is just way down. Our subscriptions dropped from 6 million a month to less than 1 million. Our overall sales for N-Phone 3 are now below $1 million. Amplitude Studio was doing 3 million at one point, which was more than it had ever made. And just to really send that point home, let me just show you the chart for this thing. It peaked right there, $3.6 million in a single month in October 2015 when this thing first released in January of 2008. So it peaked right there, but it has since dropped off to figures we haven't really seen since, I want to say, June of 2008. Pretty much. In fact, yeah, June of 2008. So it's right back down to where we started. So I think Amplitude Studio, given it's under 100,000 active users, given where its money is, I think it's reached the end of its life. But to be honest, we got almost 10 years out of this thing. We got 9. That's not bad. That's really, really not bad. Although I will say I'm not completely giving up. I'm going to port Amplitude Studio, Vertex, and Vector Studio to IntOS 2, which is a relatively recent operating system with about 2 million current users. So hopefully we're going to see some sales pick up a little bit. We might get a little bit more life out of Amplitude Studio, but obviously, you know, there's no guarantees here. We'll prioritize that port. We'll see what happens. Hopefully good things, but again, no guarantees. Now, what's also interesting is we are very, very close to completing research on 2016 systems. If we finish it, we've finished researching it. Do I want to file a patent for $50,000? Requires service employees with the level 3 law specialization. Yes, we want to do that. But here's the thing. We don't have a legal team. We don't even have a legal team office. Now, do I want to put them in this building here? Do I want to put them in the factory? I've got to be honest, I kind of don't. Because Inbox 360 is now in its alpha stage. Let me go ahead into build mode to get some music going here. The game's music only plays when you go in and out of build mode. So the Inbox 360 is in alpha, which means we need to essentially go in and build this assembly line. Now, this isn't super complicated. This is something we could expand the current assembly line if we wanted to, but I'd rather rebuild it. I would rather do something like this with this assembly line and sort of move it into this space and move it into that space, you know, move it downstairs or put it wherever it needs to go. So we need to find somewhere to put a legal team, and it's going to be a little tricky unless well, I think this is my only building because I don't want to build something completely new today. This is the support building. Technically, they should be over here, but I think I'm going to have to put them over here somewhere. And that's a little unfortunate, but I think it's just what we're going to have to do. So looking at this console manufacturing, the way I see this going is that we are going to have to, oh man, we're going to have to do console manufacturing here, I think. And then we'll sort of take it into these spaces and up to the helipad. And we can also bring it downstairs sort of through here into that room, out to there and out to there as well. So I think console manufacturing is, well, it could be up here as well. It absolutely could be up here as well. I don't think it really matters. I think one way or other, I'm going to have to figure out where it's going to go. I think a legal team is going to be kind of useful regardless. So let's just try and do something here. Let's just go ahead and say that we're going to have a legal team taking up, say, that space right there. And what we can do is throw a bit of a corridor that goes a little something like this, which apparently I can't do. So we'll just go ahead and do this right here. And we'll go ahead and do this right here. And that's going to give us some spaces here for production, which is going to be interesting to say the least. It's definitely going to be an interesting space. Although looking at it, I'm wondering how I would do conveyor belts in here. In fact, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some extra sections in here so I can have conveyor belts going across this hallway. They might never get used, but I like the space to be there in case they do. So if we have those little cutaways, we can put a door at the end here, giving us access. We can put a door here and here for side room access. And then for the conveyor belts, apparently I've got 4 of these printers. I'm not 100% sure why. But for the conveyor belts, what we can do is a little something like this and like this and like this and this. And essentially, we're sort of redoing what we've done downstairs. So these guys are going to go here and here. This guy is going to go here and here. And then we'll just do some raised sections crossing the hallway right here and crossing right there. And that should be fine. So that's going to give us conveyors going through another hallway. And you know what? Just because I'm feeling a little bit fancy, I'm going to throw some windows along this wall as well. And there we go. We have an office for a legal team. And I think this is pretty good looking. It should do the job. So we just need to get the team itself. So let's do that. This isn't something I was expecting to be doing, but we'll do it. We're just going to do one legal team for now, though. It is going to be marked as legal day, but it is just going to be the one team. I don't want to overdo it. I don't think we need to overdo it. So what are you doing? Hello, what are you, why, what are you, you're a heart, okay, well, fair enough. All right, we're gonna have to switch this team over though to the legal team there, bud. It's a good looking office though. I like the purple and I like the wood floors. I think it's pretty nice. So that'll do the job. We don't have a team leader's office though, I've realized. So the leader's not gonna be thrilled, but that's okay. I guess if we select it, there's 14. So we're going to do 1 leader and then 13 legal reps. So I guess, I probably should have duplicated. Nah, we didn't need to duplicate anything, I suppose. So leader, secondary role, service, compatibility doesn't matter. Specialization is big brain. We want HR and socialization. So we'll begin looking. Now we're going to want to go by skill. And I guess we're going to probably go for D Perry. That's probably good enough. And you're going to go to the legal team. So we'll hire you and that should be great. So now if I go to manage and I go to legal and employees and I go to obviously change roles, set you there, you can do service, I guess, as secondary, but you're going to be the legal leader. So we'll pause and we'll go in to set up the HR management of the legal team. We'll give them $1 million, handle wages, all of that. Role selection, best 4. Educate them, say 5 of them at a time. We want 13 service specialists, essentially. And the service in this case is going to be law. And then their traits, we kind of want big brain. Basically, we want them to be really good. We don't want them to be sickly, and we don't really want them to be silent but deadly. So that seems like a good setup. Salary is obviously going to be high, and that seems fine. So they can hold meetings whenever. We're going to have to add them to the meeting room in this building, but that's okay. So let's go ahead and just run things a little bit and see if we can start filling out the legal team at all, which it doesn't seem to. There we go. There's now 12 of them. Okay. So let's go ahead and assign the legal team to this particular job. We'll see if it goes ahead. And if it does, that'll be lovely. Who are you and what are you doing? Who? Oh, hello. We failed the fire inspection. That's fine. What are you doing? That's a 2D night shift worker. What? Okay. That's a bit weird, but whatever. I'll tell you what, though. Let's go ahead and make sure. So the hardware team is the only one that can go here. We need to add the marketing 2 team to all of this space as well. So let's switch teams on these. We're going to want marketing 2 in both of these. And we're also going to want the legal team in there as well to use all of the rooms we have. So the break room and the meeting room. That should be fantastic, and that's hopefully going to mean that we can get this patent and start making money from it, hopefully. And I guess there we go. We have got a legal team. They are working, and they're relatively quick, so that seems pretty good. I like the... I love that typing animation so much. I love that typing animation so much. That is the original Software Inc. typing animation, by the way. Every character back when we first started playing this game just waving their arms at the keyboard. I love it so much. I also love that we have a legal team. Now, I'll tell you what we need to do. We need to get this Inbox 360 manufacturing line going, and we need to get it going good. So what I'm thinking we can do is 2 things. I think we're going to want the Inbox 360 going out through here for one. But I think we're also going to want it to go to the helipad. So the way I could see us doing this is that we build an entirely new setup. So I've also just realized that there's balcony access there. Interesting. Okay. So if I go to manufacturing and I minimize this for a second, we'll make this a little bit smaller. I can zoom out of this, or apparently I can't. We'll go to build mode. And apparently I can't zoom out of this, so it's whatever. Unless I make it smaller, then I can zoom out of it. Okay, so I can absolutely zoom out. So, we need a printer for antenna. We need 4 for controllers. We need 1 for device input. And that goes into 2 motherboard assemblers. So, what if we start in here, we do some assembly here, we move it upstairs, and then sort of through the corridors into this space where it can go up, but it can also sort of go down into this space. Or maybe it comes back down. I don't know for sure what I want to do here, but that's, I think we're going to sort of wing it a little bit and just see what happens. So component printers are where we're going to be starting. So let's start, I guess, with the antenna printer. That seems like a fair place to get started here. So we'll do 1 right there. And I'm going to go ahead and go 2 controller printers. I'm actually going to try and move these guys forward a little bit. And I'm going to set them both to, let's see, console operating system, so controller. And we'll go to you, and we're going to say antenna. And if I copy these guys to there, we need 1 device... What is it? 1 device input. So if I put it, say, there, we can go ahead and say, not duplicate. That's not what I wanted at all. We can set you to device input. So that gives us everything we need on this line. And then essentially, if I were to say bring this out here, and then we raise it, well, we raise it up, I guess, right about here. I can have all of these guys feed into elevated sections, which I think is totally fine. This guy feeding into an elevated section is going to be slightly complicated, but I think we can get away with it. So they're all going to feed into an elevated section. It might get a little messy, but I think we'll manage. I think that'll be okay. We could probably move this around a little bit, to be completely honest. So if I put it, say, facing that way, I can move this guy into the corner and then put a little bit of conveyor belt right there. And then what we can do is have this come over, have this guy face that way, and this now goes down. And that should give us the controllers and the antenna and the device thing all feeding into this conveyor belt, where we can send it into two assemblers. So in theory, if I go to component assemblers, what I can do is say, give me an assembler here and here. We can do a splitter essentially, I guess, here, and that'll give us our motherboard. Okay, I am gonna be honest, I have no idea what I've set up here, but we have everything that we need. It all gets assembled up here and then sent back downstairs into this space, then downstairs into this space, which should mean that in theory, I could just punch it through a wall here and get rid of all of this. So that's sort of what I'm gonna do. At least I hope this works. I'm going to get rid of all of these sections of conveyor belt as well. And basically, I'm thinking we get rid of the lights just for a second. And I guess the way we do this, well, I'll tell you one thing I want to do. I want to move this back by 1. So it's there now. And I immediately want to cut a little section of this wall away and merge these guys together, because what I can do is throw this guy right here. I can bring this conveyor belt to here, and now that sort of loops around and comes into this room. So that's great. That's kind of what we want it doing. And essentially we need it to go over there now. Now, obviously it kind of comes downstairs and then it goes back upstairs and it's gonna be a bit of a mess. It's not an ideal layout by any stretch of the imagination, but I'm hoping that I can sort of make this just work. So if I was to go here, rotate that around and go downstairs, it looks like I could get away with this. And I absolutely can. So that now comes down, and that's good because it's sort of going where we want it to go. So what I'm going to do is take this guy out. I'm going to take this guy out and this guy out. I'm going to raise this up immediately. It'll get lowered back down there, and this can all come across, and we still use this entire floor. So now we have a full, I think, yeah, full chain where this can all go. But what I also want to do is put this right here. I want to go right here, and I want to do this. So it's going to be elevated, you know, going over the door, and it's going to go up to the helipad. So that's all still set up to work exactly the way we're wanting it to work. It's just a little clunky. I'll be honest. It's definitely, it's a little bit clunky, but I think this will be okay. So if I've done this right, I should be able to go to hardware manufacturing and I should be able to look at the inbox and it should be on that assembly line. If I go to manage assembly lines, we can rename this, I think, to, I guess, the inbox, just inbox, I suppose is what we'll call it. That should be fine, right? In theory, that should be okay. I hope. That's about all I got. I hope it's okay, and I hope it works. Now, did I not rename that? I think I did. Do I have to, like, click off of it and back on? I do. Okay, so that's fine. Okay. I don't know if this is going to work, but we're going to give it a shot. So we have everything we need for this. We have more assemblers than we need for final, but that's fine. Let's put this on the inbox line and let's start printing it. So inbox line, let me pause. Let me get a maximum. Let me say 250,000 of these guys are going to get made. And we should, and we do, have some components heading out. Now, what I'm thinking is, do we want to maybe merge these sooner than this spot? But we'll see what happens. We have some things going through. We have them coming around here. There should be... Wait, there's stuff going on down here as well. I totally forgot about this. So, a lot of these guys are coming around. They sort of go across here, and that's fine. They go upstairs. So they should be coming up here, which they absolutely are. We might have a lot of stuff getting recycled, but we'll see what ends up happening. No, that looks like final assembly. So we are, in fact, assembling the consoles here. They then go down the chute. They go down again. They go into this space, and they either go down, and they'll go into storage, or they'll go to the helipad, which they're absolutely doing, and they're absolutely making it downstairs as well. Okay, so we're making the inbox 360. So this worked, and it's working the way I want it to, which is with, you know, components going through the corridors, and I think that looks absolutely fantastic. I actually kind of love that. So much so that I kind of want to merge those two spaces. So, like, you just straight up come through here. I mean, I'm even going to merge this one. So you just straight up come through there, and you just see, like, boxes of console components just going over these conveyor belts. I think that looks really, really cool. I also kind of really like these lights just being around here like this. I think it's a pretty cool setup for this whole area. And you can look through the windows and see them as well. I just think that's so cool. I'm actually really pleased with that. I'm really, really pleased with that. It's such a mess of an assembly line, and I'm sure it is absolutely not perfect. I'm sure there's components that'll probably come through here at some point, but it's working right now, so that's good. We get stuff going to there. We get stuff down here. I'm so pleased with that. I'm so pleased with that. I should probably mention this is slightly over-designed just purely so I can look at all of the boxes going around this entire setup. I know I could make this so much more efficient. I could put it all on one floor, but I just really love the idea of all these components going over the corridors and to the different floors and just up and down all over the place. I just think it's cool. I just think it's kind of fun. So that's sort of what we're going for with this. And as the console starts selling, or hopefully starts selling, we're hopefully going to see that happen pretty regularly, and we're hopefully going to see a whole bunch of sales on that thing. Oh man, the N phone. We are actually going to have to start marketing both of these. So we're now manually marketing nothing. That is kind of terrifying. Although I guess we have Captain Motorstab out later this year, it's still kind of terrifying. I've got to be honest. What's holding this thing back right now? 3D. Wow. 3D is really holding that back. Man, we really got to get some people with big brains in here, huh? Remember in the last episode when I mentioned other companies naming things really similarly to how I name things? We have Faulty Industries wanting me to market Vector Pro. You've got to be kidding me. I don't... Oh, boy. All right. I don't... Vector Styles? Oh, boy. All right. I need to start getting around to these companies and buying them out is what I need to start doing. I really do. It's that simple. I really, really do. Let's see here. So these guys, are they really owned? Wait, is that my stocks are worth that? My stocks are worth, oh boy, my stocks are not worth much. Okay, we're down 76%. They're worth 22 million. You know what? I'm going to take them over and I'm going to turn them into a subsidiary. And we will give them, we have what, 100 million? Let's give them, what do they got right now? 22? Let's give them $50 million. right? That seems like a pretty fair amount of money to give them. So we'll give them $50 million and see what happens. They're working on Office Pro 7 due out this December. They have an extra add-on content pack for something this July. That's fine. I love that we can transfer people now. We don't have to worry about poaching them. And my hosting deal was canceled because they were bought out, and my hosting deal was canceled because they were bought out. That is fine. All right. So we're just going to let them be autonomous, I guess. I guess that's kind of how we look at it. Although I'd be curious to see whether this company can create new products on its own. Does that mean that in theory, if I want to design something, I could sort of go through yada, yada, yada? Can I give it to the other company? Maybe they have to be set to not be autonomous for me to do that. I'm not too sure exactly how it works. It's been a really long time since I've bought anybody out in in Software Inc. But it'd be kind of cool if we could just sort of tell them to do stuff. But at the same time, I'd like them to be autonomous. I'm going to be honest. Now let's have a look at worth here for companies. Wow, we're leading the way quite a little bit right there. $1.2 billion is what we're worth right now. These guys, $291 million. Don't get me wrong, I wouldn't be complaining if I was worth $291 million, but I really wouldn't be complaining if I was worth $1.2 billion either. So, you know, it's not too bad. And then you get these guys with a bunch of fans. Let's see how it is. Wouldn't mind having 10 million fans either, gonna be honest. That'd be nice. Now, speaking of companies, this is very interesting right here. These guys here, this other company I've been looking at, private investors currently have 42% of this company for $227 million. Now, the dividends for this company are actually paying out. I got some money from dividends a couple of months ago, which is great. But it's, oh God, Laura Johnston has died. You weren't a team leader, so it's unfortunate. It's interesting to see the way these guys are selling stuff. They're a pretty worthwhile company. They're worth $535 million, which I think should move them now into, second place in terms of how much they're worth. Now, they weren't there before, but I think the reason they're kind of set up the way they are is, I guess, because the reason they have that money, I guess, is because they've just sold so much of the company or so many stocks to private investors. They just got $227 million in the space of a handful of months from these investors. Now, I don't necessarily want, I'll be honest. I mean, it's nice I have 42% of the company, but these guys are my next sort of target. I'm gonna be honest. They're the next lot that I want to go in and take over. I want to turn them into a subsidiary. But I don't know that I want to spend half of my money doing that. I don't know that I want to spend $227 million buying out these private investors. I don't know that I want to spend 187 buying out, that's me, never mind, 58 buying out these guys. We'll see. Maybe if I get back to 1.1 billion, we'll spend the 58 million and we'll go from there. It's ridiculous talking about these numbers, by the way. Oh yeah, we'll get back to 1.1 billion and then we'll cut that down by $58 million and everything will be fine. It's ridiculous. These are ridiculous amounts of money. Whatever the case, it is July. It is 2017. That means the new Captain Motorstab is due to release. Captain Motorstab 5. 11,000 followers. It releases this month. It is hopefully going to release on time. I'll be slightly annoyed if it doesn't. Doesn't have all of our marketing teams working on it though, which is a little frustrating. So let's get the new marketing teams on there as well, just to make sure that they're doing everything they can to support it and make sure it's good, make sure people are aware of it. And let's just see if they release it, because if they don't, I'm going to be quite upset. I'm going to be really upset. There it is. So Captain Motorstab 5 is out to the people. It is outstanding. Prominent marketing. That's what we want to see. Now, what I really want to do is I want to update this to the highest tech levels possible, but I also want to use my own stuff. Is that going to be an option? Amplitude Studio? Yes. Vector Styles is not mine. That is not... Ugh! I wish they'd stop doing that. I wish they'd stop. That's frustrating. Vector Pro isn't mine. Oh, you're kidding me. I hate that so much. Bring the 2D and the 3D down. Vector or Vertex Studio. Vector Studio 2. And that'll be fine. Source control is source control. Approximately 2 years to do this. Oh, man. That's a bit rough. Okay, let's get the networking team on this because networking is involved. Let's get the audio team on this. Let's get the 3D team on this, the 2D team on this, and the systems team on this, just to see if we can do this in a reasonable amount of time. So, update. Let's see if we can get this update out for Captain Motorstab, whatever it is, 5. And then, we need to go and update Vector Studio 2. So there's a lot of bugs, but we want to bring the systems and the 2D up to date. We're going to go ahead and clear all this out. We want 2D, we want systems, we want updates. We want those 6 teams working on it. So get that queued up as well. Gonna prioritize the Captain Motorstab update though. And then we'll circle around to Horse Simulator 6. We probably should update Amplitude Studio and Vertex though, because Amplitude isn't until 2020 and Vertex isn't until 2019. So we're going to be using both of those for a little while longer. Although I can't do anything with Amplitude yet, but Vertex on the other hand, we can, I think, absolutely bring it up to date a little bit. So we don't want the 2D team on this. We want the 3D team on this, and that'll be fine. Let's go ahead and update it. And let's just see, can we do this Captain Motorstab thing in a good amount of time? It looks like we kind of can, so we'll see what happens there. It might take a little bit of time, but we'll get that out there. This Vector one's going to take ages with the bugs, and then Vertex should be fine. Let's just see if Captain Motorstab makes money. $1.057 billion goes to $1.067 billion. So reasonable? It's unavoidable. Ooh, God, that's rough. What can we port this to? Let's sort by active users. 3 million? Oh my God. Int OS and Int OS 2 are ridiculously popular. Let's go down to there, and that's going to give us a lot of potential users. Very big port job, but we'll get it done. And I guess Vector Studio 2, can we look at porting you as well? No, it's already been ported to everything, so that's fine. Horse Simulator, does it need ported to anything? Yes, it does. We want some new customers there. Okay, so that's going to keep everybody busy. We have these guys canceling their deal. These guys have signed my deal. That's okay. All right. So we're making money. We've got that going for us. We are at least making some money on the new Captain Motorstab. We also probably want to start working on a Sergeant Stabby Face expansion for this thing, let's be honest. That is absolutely something that we're going to want, but I kind of need it updated. I kind of need it ported. Now, in other news, moving away from ports and updates, the patent right here has finished. We have just patented, I believe, Systems 2016, I think. Did we manage to do that? We did. So we managed to patent it, which is fantastic. So let's maybe start looking into 2017 systems and just sort of keep going down that path. We could look into hardware for 2017. It doesn't look like anybody's going for it, but I'm just going to go for this. I'm absolutely just going to go for this. Let's, we could have everybody working on it the way we have before. That seems a little excessive, but it worked out well for us last time. So let's just keep going for you know, the latest system updates. And in theory, that means that I can update all of my software to now, I guess, use 2017 systems, which would make them the most advanced systems on the market, because I think we're the only ones that can use that patent right now. I've also just noticed we had an employee called Numbers Carpenter. That's an amazing name. That is a genuinely fantastic name. Numbers Carpenter. That is so good. Now, Captain Motorstab's update is done. The bugs are still being fixed. We are so close to catching up with the bugs here. If we could just do that, that would be absolutely fantastic. Please. I know we don't have to finish all of these bug fixes, but I would like to. You know, it's something we might as well do. The Vertex update as well is also very close to being done. So let's see here. Give me like 2 more. Oh, come on. The bugs are getting away from us again. Come on, catch up with it a little bit. Catch up with it. You're going to catch... No, they're not going to do it, are they? The bugs are just rolling in. That's a little frustrating. At least Vertex Studio is good to go. Captain Motorstab, we're just going to update it and hopefully boost sales a little bit. It is doing okay, admittedly. Also, I mean, Vector Studio 2 is doing all right as well. So I'll take it. I've also just noticed 1,000 oh my god. Let's prioritize that, please. Try and get those bugs out of there, because that is pretty bad. Also, Defender, ready for development. Let's go ahead and get that going. I don't imagine it'll take too long to work on a piece of antivirus software, although my systems guys, my 2D guys, everybody's doing everything right now. We're back to a point where all of my teams are so busy that everything is slow. And another leader is gone. Meryl Warner has retired from the contract support day shift after 19 years. So contract support day needs another leader. So let's go ahead and filter by compatibility. We're looking for support day. I can't believe we've had that team for so long. That is kind of nuts. Let's go ahead and begin looking. We got a lot of great compatibility, which is fantastic. So let's go for Stanford Payne. That seems like a good shout. HR is there. Socialization is there. So you're going to be hired to the contract support team. We're going to go to that team. We're going to go to employees, sort by years of the company, and you are going to be the team leader is what you're going to be. We'll set that to secondary and you are good. So that team is now managed. I don't believe we lost any other leaders recently. We absolutely did not, but I am curious about something. Who has been with 38 years? 38 years. I am 58 years old. All of our founders are 58 years old. So much so that if we go to me, where am I right now? I'm at work. Can I go to employee? Where am I? I'm here. I'm going gray. We're going gray. I forgot this was a thing. Oh, look at him. Oh, he's getting wrinkly. I forgot that they did this. I forgot that they got like old and wrinkly when they're like 58 years old and have been doing, you know, running a company like this for 38 years. It's also just hit me that it's January 2018. I know we failed a fire inspection and we have another Vector Studio out this year. The last one, Vector Studio 2, was 2016. So we might be getting Vector Studio to be every other year, which is honestly not bad. It'd be nice if we could spin, you know, Vertex and Amplitude to be like that, but maybe once we get the first ones out, it'll speed up a little bit. It would definitely be nice if that was the case, so we'll keep an eye on it and see what happens. April this year is when the new Vector is supposed to go out. There's nothing else queued for this year, so we'll see what happens. The Nbox 360 is also depressingly slow. My hardware team might need to be expanded. They're not very good. In fact, I think my marketing team is arguably more efficient than my hardware team, which is probably good. That is probably good. Having a really effective marketing team is not necessarily a bad thing. Oh my god, 29 years of the company. And we only gave him $30,000. It's a bit rough, isn't it? We're not a very good company to work for, is what we're discovering. Now, we have $1.14 billion. What was it I said I was going to buy? I want to look at the details of these guys. Interesting. So, did they buy back? So they're not worth as much as they used to be. I own 68%. 54. I guess the other ones just sold their stocks. All right. Well, I'll tell you what. I'm going to buy this. And now I own 83% of this company. So if they put more of the company up for sale, then quite frankly, I fail to see how anyone but me can own a majority stake in that company. Also, I should probably check in on my subsidiary and see how they're doing, because I haven't really been paying attention to them, to be completely honest with you. So let's see. Where is my subsidiary? There they are. They're not worth a lot of money. That's worrying. Have they released anything recently? December 2017, they released this. It made a profit. That's good. Can I look at further details of it? So 5 million, 5 million, 5 million, 4.8 million. Are they, how many people is it available to? Consumer reach is 6.2 million. It has sold, what is that, 240,000? 136,000 active users. Okay. I mean, it would be nice if they were making more money than they are, but I'll take it. Let's have a look at their details. So they're working on Office Pro 8 for May of 2020. I don't know that that's going to be good for them. I've got to be honest. I don't know that that company is going to stay afloat if they don't start putting out really good things, but I'm only going to bankroll them so far. You know, I'm not going to just be like, hey, here's another $100 million to waste on office software that you're terrible at making. I'd rather they just go broke. We fold the subsidiary, we take the intellectual property, and we make something good ourselves. That's the end goal, to be completely honest, is buy out all the companies, take the thing that they're known for, make it myself, make it better, but it's like, the first 7 installments of this franchise are by whatever company, and then the 8th one is Nerdrosoft. That's how we're doing it. It's like when EA buys a company, right? EA acquires a company, and it's like the first game the company puts out afterwards is by that company, right? Published by EA, but developed by whatever. And then the next one is published by EA, developed by EA, you know, wherever it is. So EA Montreal or something like that. That's how they get you. That's how they get you, and that's how we're gonna get them. Oh, I totally forgot about Vector Studio 3. I know I was talking about it just a minute ago, but I genuinely totally... It's horrible. What? What? I don't think we've never put out something horrible. What? Oh my god. No. Oh no! Oh, that's terrible. Okay, give that a bit more time. Wow. I don't actually know what to think of that. Ned Nichols might not be a very good leader, is what we're discovering. Wow. Wow. I'm actually kind of shocked at that. That's gonna be bad. Can we update this? We can bring the systems up to date a little bit. We can bring the 2D up to date a little bit. We'll go ahead and say none. We'll do 2D, we'll do systems, and we'll do updates. We'll get those guys to work on it. We'll go ahead and get ready to port it as well, because it is gonna need all the help it can get. It's as simple as that. It is absolutely going to need all the help it can get. It didn't release until late either, so... Oh boy. Oh no. 1.1 million. 1.18. Hold on, did it just sell? Wait, what do you want? You want royalties? Sure, I'll give you royalties, that's fine. Did it sell despite being horrible? Oh, no, it did not. Oh, no, it did not. It made $4,000. It sold 83 units. I don't know what has happened to that vector project, but whatever happened to it needs to not happen again. That's pretty bad. That's pretty bad. Why have we just finished a printing job for Vertex Studio 2? Hold on, when is that out? That's not out for a year. Okay. Wait, no, Horse Simulator. Oh God, November 2018. Was that brought forward? Oh no, we're doing Horse Simulator 7 this year. It might be horrible as well. It might genuinely be horrible. Also, I feel like this hardware progress hasn't increased. I'm just gonna promote this thing. I'm gonna promote it because we need to get this thing ready to market. We need to get it on the market. So what have we got coming out? That's gonna be the question. We're looking at a console operating system. Do we have any in December? We don't. We have one in November though. So what about 2019? We don't have any in Q1 or Q2. We have one in December, 2 phones. Okay, let's aim for January 2019 for the Nbox or the Inbox 360. So market, we're going to say 2019. We're going to say January. We're going to say, okay, we're going to go to marketing. We're going to give them everything that they can do. We're going to send out press builds. We are going to start hyping this thing. We are just going to do absolutely everything we can possibly do to get people excited about this thing. Marketing the controller, we're going to do exactly the same thing. We're going to send press builds. We are going to hype it. And we're just going to see if we can't maybe get people excited about this. Because having a horrible version of Vector Studio after all this time that's really bad. That is really bad. This company was built on the back of things like Vector. If we look at releases, we look at archived, Vector was the first thing we ever made. It was the first thing we ever made. And now we just, we automate the thing and it falls apart. That is disappointing. That's a really sad story for the company. I don't know how to feel about that. Let's release this thing. It's got some followers. Release this. That's got some followers. Are the press builds gonna get people hyped? I hope so. I hope we can turn this around. Do we have people interested? There we go. There's people interested now. It's not that many, but it's better than nothing. Oh, that's depressing. How many copies are in stock right now? There's a few. There's a few of those. This thing is maybe gonna need a lower price. Maybe we lower it like $50. I can't believe that. I really can't believe that. Let's finish the update, I guess. We'll prioritize the port there. And I guess we'll prioritize that port as well. Well, maybe not prioritize this one as much. I got nothing. I got nothing. I could read into it and I could probably see exactly why it went wrong. But you know what? I'm just going to double down and get this console out the door. That's what we do. We don't learn from our mistakes. We deflect and distract from our mistakes. Anyway, I think that's gonna do us for today. Next time, we're gonna see how the Inbox 360 gets on. It's gonna be going out to the people. It's hopefully gonna be amazing. And we're gonna see our production lines up and running, delivering consoles to people. It's gonna be good. I have faith in the Inbox 360, and I have faith that we can port all of our games to it. And maybe we start doubling down on games, because these automatic projects with other pieces of software are just not cutting it, and I'm really worried that the next Vector is going to be horrible as well. In fact, maybe the right thing to do is completely rebuild all of my project management, start hiring people specifically for project management, and pay close attention to how good they are at project management. But whatever happens, we'll be fine. We have enough money to last a lifetime. So for now, all that's left to say is thank you very much for watching, everybody. It has been an absolute pleasure as always. And as always, I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.